Thanks for clicking. You're listening to Time In with yours truly, Tommy Crenshaw. With me is a man who holds a record for hiding the longest at a game of hide and seek. Mr. Ricardo Lungus.
Yo, the record will never be beaten. 15 and a half years. 15 and a half years. There are some people in that game who still do not know where I am. And this game happened back in the 60s. That's what I'm saying. I am just that good. Nobody can find me. I mean, I was also hiding in plain sight. I was basically a vending machine. And, when you hide as a vending machine, people come and stock the vending machine, every couple of days. So not only was I hiding, I also had food and beverage free. People don't understand these things. People don't understand the tips that I'm giving them. People if you're gonna be the best, be the best. Do the research. Get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, apparently your level of hiding involves time machine and interdimensional travel because somewhere 15 years ago, I don't think it was 1962 or whatever you said it was. Maybe my math is wrong. You get a little foggy.
I hid for 15 and a half years back in the 60s. Somebody caught me in it was like 70s, almost close to the 80s. You're getting your number skewed, Tommy. You're getting your number skewed. This happened in the 60s. It started in the 60s. Never got caught. That's what I'm saying.
Well, where did you hide? Quit keeping a secret.
I just said I was a vending machine. I'm not telling you where I was a vending machine at. Everybody's gonna take my spot. Somebody's gonna break my record. That ain't gonna happen, Tommy. That ain't gonna happen. I'm not telling my coordinates. You know what I'm saying, Tommy? All you need to know is that I hold the record. That's all you need to know,
you were
Tommy.
probably responsible for about the deaths of about 85 people and about 12 hiking dogs. Because, that guy that was Forrest Campbell, soup guy, or whatever his name was, the guy that, told everybody, hey, I got a treasure. I just hid it somewhere in America. And then everybody started, falling off cliffs and stuff like that, taking hot air balloons into thunderstorms, because he said, I hid my treasure in a cloud. And, some idiots just decided to go in thunderstorms looking for this treasure. Didn't even say what it was. It's probably just, like a Dakota ring and some knickknacks or whatever, some tchotchkes. And he said, well, yeah, one man's treasure is another man's trash. But we don't need to tell everybody that you devoted your life to a silly game. But anyway, we're here to talk about a silly game. But before we do that, I got to introduce our other host. I got to introduce our other guest, who is a man who shoots bazookas at icebergs for fun, Mr. Anthony North.
How you doing, Tommy? Look, this is, a lot of you people probably already are judging me for this because you're saying, we need those icebergs. Everybody knows about climate change, global warming. We're finding woolly mammoths that have been under ice for 30,000 years. All of a sudden, they're coming back to life again because we can't stop, driving around on our high-powered lawnmowers at 2 p.m. every day and, taking a plane to get from Florida to Florida. Thing is, Tommy, I only shoot bazookas at the icebergs that are coming my direction. It's because part-time, I'm a cruise ship captain. It's a private thing, it's for the super, worthy. It's not, I don't charge a lot of money. I'm not trying to bilk rich people or hang out with boring assholes. I'm trying to find interesting people that like exploring the ocean, and sometimes you explore the northern parts of the ocean, and there's an iceberg coming, and I'm not trying to be the Titanic, so I pull out the bazooka, I blow it into chunks, and then we glide safely to Greenland. It's just what you do when you're out there. It's perfectly legal. That's because the waters are more or less uncharted. But look, that's just me, Tommy. That's all it is. That's just me. But don't judge me, man. I'm a eco-friendly cruise ship captain. I guarantee that.
Yeah, no, I think you're protecting your passengers. That's what any good cruise ship rider wants their captain to be, because you never know what's on an iceberg coming your way. There could be polar bears with grenades, Who knows? It's still the polar bear on its own is scary enough. I mean, you don't need that. There could be.
No, we got a polar bear check tool we use. It's like an infrared tool, and it spots any mammals that might be, cruising around. I mean, I don't care about fish. I mean, unfortunately, look, there's plenty of fish in the sea, Tommy. It's fine if you blow them up, but I do not harm the wonderful polar bears. They've got it hard enough, Tommy.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying. I mean, imagine if your ship got boarded by polar bears like Somali pirates, in the Aden Sea. You got these guys, these polar bears coming in, and who knows what the demands are. The demands are they're just going to bite people's heads off. Everyone thinks they're going to drink Coca-Cola Classic out of a bottle and smile at you when they're really just going to take one of a paw and knock your head right off your neck just because they can. And so I think it's okay. I mean, if you're shooting off polar bears, and you never know. Speaking of Somali pirates, maybe they've adapted and they could ride on icebergs. The ships are expensive. Hopping on an iceberg, we just got to get there. They're adapting.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, they're messing up the Newfoundland trade route. I mean, everybody knows Newfoundland, a big Canadian, shipping port. They do a little. Sometimes they do a little underground, business. But European countries are friendly. It's the West. You got to watch out for. You got to make sure Russia doesn't cross into Alaska. That's a whole different situation. But I stay out of that, Tommy. I'm all about the Northeast, and I love Canada. I mean, friendly people, great food, beautiful skies. I mean, it's a gorgeous place to visit, and a lot of people like cruise ships. So, win-win if you ask me.
Yeah, and before you turn this into a snooze fest, we got to get moving because we got to talk. Speaking of snow,
nobody's falling asleep when I'm talking, Tommy. Get out of here with that garbage. If I'm gonna put people to sleep, I'm gonna use some Tommy Crenshaw classics. That'll be putting people to sleep.
Yeah, you're the guy who says I'm not gonna shoot a polar bear, and people are like falling asleep at that. They want to hear the carnage. They want to hear you got to blow a polar bear's head right into the sky.
That's because, Tommy, every single one of your stories ends in some animal death. We are not here for that, Tommy.
That's the way of sports. That's the way of the world, Ricardo. You know
what are you talking about? Are you trying to become a Republican vice president nominee?
Yeah,
you're gonna shoot a goat and kill your dog. Is that what you're doing?
I'm an ape political. I'm gonna say apolitical. APE. I mean, all politicians are apes. They're just primitive creatures that I will not invest in, but I will invest in sports, and that's what we're here to talk about. We're talking about the snow, the Canadian countries, or whatever, the Kingdom of Canada. Well, I don't know if that silly country. How they divide themselves. They got a goose on their coins. They got leaves represent their the military. That's not a good sign because leaves fall. But anyway, we're not here to talk about all that silliness. And I wish I could tie the hide and seek thing in there, a vending machine. But vending machine is like a lotto machine. And anyway, we're talking about the NHL. I'm kind of getting a roundabout way. And if anyone that follows the show realizes that yours truly and Ricardo Lungus, a lot of people say you don't really know the NHL, you don't know hockey that well. I think we know it pretty good. But another man who knows it better is Mr. Anthony North, and that's the only reason why we have him on the shows is because for this very reason we got to save him for hockey season. And but we're in the middle of playoffs right now.
It's not just hockey. I mean, like the very very lowest league baseball too. Like whatever the lowest. Below double,
Pioneer
below
League.
Triple, Pioneer, below whatever's below that. He is the expert on that.
I mean, exactly. That's where I made it. That's where I made my living. I mean, high A rookie ball, Pioneer League. I love independent baseball. Yeah, you give guys a second chance. The guys who maybe partied a little too much, got one too many DUIs to get drafted. But have unreal talent. I mean, helping those guys rebuild their careers, telling their story. That's what I'm here for. And also hockey.
Yeah. And and Ricardo, thank you for stalling this even longer. But with that nonsensical little
I mean, all you want to do is talk about polar bears being blown up, Tommy.
I was moving the show along.
I'm
pal.
trying to get us to sports, Tommy.
You were just trying to get.
Come on, we gotta get some hockey going. We got hockey talk to do. Let's do some hockey.
You're just trying to flatter Anthony because you want to date his cousin. But anyway, I should have said that out loud.
I'm not going to date his cousin. I mean, it's because, she's blind, tall, that's the way I like them. But I'm just saying,
stop the nonsense. Will you let the host the show for crying out loud? You always do this.
You're up there talking and splattering all over the place. Let's go, Tommy.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry for your polar bear apologist attitude. It just doesn't sit right with me. But anyway, they're evil animals. So anyway, the NHL. So let me kind of set the stage here before I get interrupted by more nonsense and the guy that's trying to score a goal with the cousin of another host here. So let me set the stage here. You might be listening to this and say, guys, these games have already been played. Well, then you should have listened to this when we put this out. So right now, we're already into Dallas, Colorado. That's a matchup. It's going to be a good matchup. Vancouver and Edmonton, the two Canadian teams that are still left in this thing. Because Winnipeg is a gone pecan, and so is Toronto. We'll talk about that in a second. And right now, there's games going on that's got the Florida Panthers versus the Boston Bruins. And then of course the New York Rangers, everybody's favorite, and the Carolina Hurricanes, the head scratchers. It probably shouldn't be a team, but no, it's good fans. It's great sports. Carolina's a region. You just package them up as two states and sell it to everybody. Anyway,
I mean, that's because the fan base covers the Carolinas, Tommy. That Carolina, they're represented. The fans drive from all over the Carolinas, north and south, doesn't matter. They love the Hurricanes, man. Huge fan base. They show up for the games. It's one of the most intimidating environments in the NHL. I think if I had to rank, I would say Winnipeg is number one, Carolina number two. And I would say the lousiest, unfortunately, Arizona Coyotes, who don't exist anymore. So that's what you get for being a lousy fan base. But I mean, it's hard to be a fan base when the team doesn't have an arena to play at. It's hard to scream loud enough when you watch it on TV for people to hear you at the game. But still, I'm ready, Tommy. What do you got?
No, I think you had a good point because of those you listening, the Arizona Coyotes had said "C'est la vie," and they're headed to Salt Lake City, to Utah, and they're going to go there and play. The owner of the Utah Jazz, when I say Utah Jazz, I mean the basketball club. Not like he doesn't own the music form, but he probably would if he could. The NHL looked at this thing and said, okay, you got denied by two arenas, and then all these towns, the people said, we don't want you building on top of our dump. We'd rather have a pile of trash than have your trash. And, so they're playing in a college, I don't call it an arena, a clubhouse. And then they were one step away. What happened is all the shopping malls put out a collective statement and said, we don't want your team playing here, reminiscent of the Hartford Whalers that were playing basically in a burnt down strip mall.
It's a fact. I mean, but I love the Whalers. I mean, go Whalers forever. Paul Maurice, one of the best coaches in the league, now the Panthers head coached some great teams back in the day with Hartford. And you talk about, legends of the game. I mean, there's so many great players. But look, now they're Carolina, and they're still great. I mean, it's not the same. I mean, they don't play in a mall. I think that should be something required of every team to play at least 6 games a year in a mall. I mean, Minnesota, you could play, I would say in the Mall of America. You can have Minnesota play there. Everybody loves to see a Wild game in a side of mall. I mean, the irony of that is beautiful. You have an Avalanche play in a mall, and you have a real Avalanche inside that washes all the fans out the door when the game's over. Good times. Everybody loves being caught in avalanches. Come on. This is a great marketing idea by the marketing genius Tommy Crenshaw.
Yeah, no, I think we both should take credit for it. I'll just take all the money.
I mean, Edmonton. I mean, the West Edmonton Mall is one of the I believe, the largest shopping mall in Canada. I mean, the Oilers have it right there. I mean, it's right in their backyards. They can do it easy, no trouble. I mean, they're already in Canada. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's already at least 2 or 3 ice skating rinks in the mall anyway. I mean, what else they gonna do up there? I mean, you got your Hot Topic, you got your belts, and you got your you can see some hockey. You'll get you some slacks. Go get some hockey. Maybe get you a pretzel or something like that. It's right there.
Get a donut and a coffee at Tim Hortons. But we're here to talk about. I'll say this. There's a team that's been on everybody's radar, and this is like a fan favorite of people, and that is the Oilers. Because they got a couple of guys, more than a couple of guys. They got a really stout team. But last year they just fell short because everybody was predicting them to go far and win the Stanley Cup. So they could see that silly looking weird inbred guy with this, white gloves pull out the trophy. That's a creepy looking dude. But we don't need to talk about him.
That's a whole nother episode, Tommy. That's a whole nother episode.
We could we'll spend a whole episode talking about the creepy dude with the white gloves. Anyway,
I mean, whatever, Tommy. This guy's been taking care of Lord Stanley's Cup for over 30 years. He can be as weird, Dumb and Dumber looking, with white gloves as he wants. I mean, it's perfectly fine. But look, I think Jeff Daniels has a lawsuit on his hands. I think this guy. I mean, it's like a mix of Mark Davis, Jeff Daniels, and Dumb and Dumber, and Bozo the Clown, with white gloves. But still, that's what makes this sport the sport it is. It's a weird little sport full of weird people with strange names, all giving 199%.
Yeah, thank God those gloves are white, because you never know, as weird as this guy is, what he was doing with that trophy before, before he brings it out. He's just, trying to pull them off, and he's like, it's just starch, pals, it's just a little sticky from the, take care of my gloves, wink, wink. Anyway, but we're not here to speculate about some weird guy's sick fetishes. That you don't know what he's doing with that dang trophy. But it's just a guy like that just needs to be monitored. But we got a lot going on. We're trying to talk about the NHL here, and I was going to talk to Oilers. I'll just say congratulations to the Sharks. For nabbing that, 13-year-old boy, who was playing up there at the Boston University. They got all excited because, they won the lottery. Because right now there's a lottery going, there's teams moving, there's a lot going on. It's not just the playoffs.
That's you talk about staying current. I mean, you're talking about stuff that's happening this moment. Look, Max Celebrini, BU star, Hobie Baker Award winner, greatest NCAA hockey player this year, a born two-way forward, a guy that's going to be a first-line center for the Sharks for the next 20 years. San Jose is lucky. I mean, they are absolutely lucky. This class wasn't very deep. You really had 2 or 3 top-level players, and the Sharks got the number 1 guy. So, and look, the Blackhawks are getting number 2, so Connor Bedard will no longer be alone. He's going to have a Russian forward coming over. That's gonna, a lot of people haven't seen him play, but he's known as Ivan the Great. I mean, he's going to be excellent, and he's 18. I mean, these kids, by the time they turn 21, Tommy, they're gonna be on top of the world. And with the way the NHL's going, look, the ratings are at almost 50%. You can find these games on everything now. They've got them on ESPN, ESPN Plus, TNT, TBS, True TV. I mean, this is like March Madness in May. And instead of lousy basketball, you get to watch the greatest hockey players on earth. If you ask me, this is the best playoff there is. It's better than football. It's better than baseball. It's better than basketball. And no one watches soccer, so who cares?
Yeah, well, I would say a lot of the rest of the world watches soccer, but people here. But I want to get on back to this Edmonton Oilers thing, if you don't mind that. Because you got Connor McDavid, who's the center for Edmonton now, and he's a beast. And he's got 132 goals on the season. That's right up there with Nikita Khrushchev.
132 points, Tommy. I mean, he's not Wayne Gretzky, okay? He's got 132 points.
What's
I mean, a little different than goals.
What's goals point, right? I mean, what's the difference?
I mean, true, the puck goes in the net, but the thing about it is he scored 32 himself, but he assisted on 100.
But that counts.
And that tells you the kind of player this guy is. This guy is a playmaker. He's not a guy who stands around the net waiting to tip in rebounds. He's a guy who creates plays. He sees the ice like a wizard, and every pass is perfect, and he plays at the fastest speed on ice. I mean, the only guy that plays faster than Connor McDavid is Nathan McKinnon. And surprise, surprise, the Avs and Oilers probably going to end up in the Western Conference Finals with two of the best players in the league. But yeah, I mean,
we'll see about that. But I'm talking about the Oilers here. Excuse me. I want to finish with because you still got Evan Bouchard, who's a defenseman. And he's in the top 5 defensemen. Anyway, my point is, it's an exciting team. You got Leon Draisaitl, which a lot of people, we covered polo, and that's think about a Draisaitl makes you move fast because you want to get off that horse as quickly as possible because you're starting to chafe there, pal. And that's how this guy plays. He plays like he's getting chafed on a horseback that's maybe it's rubbing his man parts a little funny, and he's not feeling too happy about that. But that makes you play. I mean, that's the thing. You make these guys uncomfortable, and they're gonna play better.
Hey, all I know is that the Canucks don't have a chance. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be a complete sweep or whatnot. But I'm just saying. All I'm saying, at least it's gonna be 4-2. That's all I'm saying. They're gonna. I mean,
tell that to JT Miller.
I'll tell them all. I mean, hey, Mr. Miller, you going down 4-2. That's all I'm saying. And you know what makes me sad? You know what I'm saying? These are the only 2 teams representing Canada. You letting all those Americans come up there, smack you around, make you look silly. Yeah, that ain't right. You know what I mean? But we go back to what Anthony said. I think we're gonna see Colorado versus the Colorado Avalanche versus the Oilers. Yeah, I still gotta go Oilers. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Oilers. Well, I mean, but what we got?
That's in the Western Conference. Who you got in the East? I mean, the East.
Well, I mean, we gotta talk about Dallas Stars versus the Avalanche. I mean, you got the up and coming star Wyatt Johnston. Breakout for the Dallas Stars. They put away the Golden Knights, the defending champions, 4-3. Made them look dumb, especially because of Alex Petrogolo. I mean, he did a couple bad penalties, set up some power plays, made him look good. I mean, all I'm saying is that, the Avalanche probably gonna beat the Stars, but I'm just saying, they're looking good. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good
I like it. I like it too. But I gotta say, look, Dallas Stars probably got a top goalies like Ottinger, one of the best goalies in the league. This is a guy I think is gonna make a big difference in this series. He's the kind of guy that can just stonewall a team. And the thing about it, I mean, he just takes up the entire net. I mean, that's the problem. If you have a 6'6" goaltender, 4-foot net. I mean, where are you going to shoot the puck? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Ottinger literally just takes it up. The name sounds like an otter, but he's more like a whale. That's the thing. Like, talented as you are, you still have to get the puck through a 6'6" goaltender. And look, as Stars have got leadership, like Jamie Benn, been in the league for about 79 years at this point. Still the captain, still the meanest guy on the ice. And Tyler Seguin, I mean, still an elite scorer. This is a guy in his second year in the NHL, won a cup with the Boston Bruins in 2010. And in his whole career, he's been a great scorer. And it's, I think there's a lot of guys that are in the playoffs who their time is due. Stars have got a lot of them, but I mean, Tommy's right. The Oilers, I would say, like Connor McDavid is destined to win a Stanley Cup. It's just, you can't be the best player in the game and not win a cup. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's gonna happen. I don't think it'll happen this year, Tommy. Edmonton is on the way up, but they're not there yet.
Well, we still will stay tuned and hope they keep cheering for them, because that's what makes sports exciting. But let me pose this to you, to both of you guys. You know how the Australian football league, these guys kind of like, they tap out of the sport because they want to come to U.S. make some more money, and they kind of convert very easily. Why hasn't the NHL figured out that formula and figured out some other guys in other countries? Like, this is what I think. Like, I think a fat goalie would do very well. Like, I think that, they could go after some, like, amateur sumo wrestlers.
How fat are we talking, Tommy?
Well, like a sumo wrestler.
Are you talking you're talking 1,000 pounds?
Well, I don't think that. Anthony, I don't think anybody's ever been 1,000 pounds. I think you just die.
It's a show. I mean, it's a show. You can be 1,000 pounds.
You'll probably be 650. I think once you get to about 800 pounds, I think you can't come back from that.
How do you get to the net, though? I mean, how do you get to
800 pounds?
You got to skate, Tommy. You still got to skate. You still got to play the puck outside the crease.
Unless you do that open net thing, then you slap tag and get another guy out there. But, like if you're a sumo wrestler-sized guy and you're covering up the net, and those guys are athletic. Sumo wrestlers are big, but they're athletes. They can move around and kind of kick about a foot in the air. You ever seen a sumo guy kick? He gets up on the ankle.
I mean, well, we just got, like, instead of getting two wrestlers, we just got to find some dude that's really wide. I mean, just a really wide
6
dude.
feet wide is what we need.
Exactly.
Like, 6 feet wide.
Yeah.
I don't know. You need a guy who's 4 feet tall and 6 feet wide. Good luck.
Yeah, Dom
DeLuise. He ain't going to last long, Tommy. I mean, you got to play like 120 games to win a cup. Like, maybe you sit on the bench all year and the team wins without you, and then all of a sudden your goaltender who got you to the playoffs, you're like, no, you're bench. We're putting in El Torso over here that's got a waistline of 99 inches. We're gonna put him in the game.
Yeah, you could put like a Dom DeLuise type character out there. I think he's a little too old to do it, but somebody like that.
A little too dead too. I mean,
it's not very nice.
I mean, hey, we got more hockey to talk about.
They put Andre and the Giant in the goal.
Oh, that guy would have been good. Yeah,
bring him back. I'm sure he's still in decent condition after all these years. You just bring him in, lay him there, and have a string, pull his leg up and down to block shots. I think. Yeah, good idea, Tommy.
I don't think you could do that if you had like a puppeteer above the net pulling him straight. I just don't think that treating the game like that, like a marionette, because a guy is can't lift his gravy-filled ankle up high enough. Anyway, I think sumo wrestlers because athletic. I'll leave it at that. But we got to talk about some other things here. Like give me the player to watch. Either of you guys, give me the player to watch that nobody's talking about.
I mean, what you talking about? You talking about in the games we were talking about, or we talking about
in the playoffs? We don't need to go back to 1832.
I mean, most people talk about the best players, Tommy. It's kind of hard to be a great player and no one talks about you.
No, but tell me about the dog horses. Nobody was talking about except for me, David Tyree in the Super Bowl when the Giants, had that crazy catch.
That guy had a magnet. Come on, Tommy. Get real. All right, you want to talk about guys that most people, maybe like your casual fan, doesn't talk about a lot. All right, we're going to do that. We're going to talk a couple. I'm going to start with the Hurricanes. Couple of guys to watch, Sebastian Aho and Jake Getzel. Jake Getzel is a guy that's won a cup before. He won a cup in his rookie year, coming up with the Penguins, partnered up with the great Sidney Crosby. They've got this guy. He's a kind of guy who scores on power plays. He's a pest around the net. Sebastian Aho, one of the best skaters in the league, a guy that can create plays and get the puck to Svechnikov, Teravainen. Get the puck to the goal scorers. These are the kind of guys that set them up. Because everybody knows about how great Connor McDavid is. Mac Jesus. Everybody knows that name. Draisaitl. His partner in crime. I mean, everybody knows that. But and then if you want to talk about, the Rangers, there's a lot of guys, but to me, the guys who make the Rangers go, Mika Zibanejad, a little tricky name to say, but he's great, and Trocheck and Kreider. I mean, you put that line together, it's a power play unit. You put it out there first, second, third period. These guys play great defense, force turnovers, and make amazing plays without even opening their eyes practically. These guys always know where each other are on the ice, and it's perfectly orchestrated, and it's what made the Rangers the best team in the NHL this year. So yeah, those are a couple. What do you got, Ricardo?
I won't go to the Panthers. I talk about Carter Verhaeghe. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's just called
Verhaeghe. Yeah, Verhaeghe.
I'm pretty close. It's the accent, really. He's doing pretty good. He's got 5 goals, 6 assists. He's doing pretty good for the series. So far in the playoffs. Let's see what else. Who's another good guy?
I love Verhaeghe. I agree completely. I mean, this is a guy who plays with Tkachuk. You're gonna have anytime you center the best winger on the team, one of the best wingers in the league, it's gonna look good. And that's the thing. Verhaeghe, Tkachuk, great players, and Alexander Barkov, team captain, best two-way player, to me in the league. Yeah, this is a great example of a guy people don't talk about.
Exactly. What about you, Tommy? You got any ideas?
Yeah, I don't want to be this guy, but there's so many of them. Look, this is a sport filled with nothing but diehard villains. And, you just look at some of these guys and pronounce the names. They really should have been fighting Bruce Willis out the top of a building. But now they're skating around, taking their frustrations out, can't use dynamite and explosives and stuff like that, which makes it exciting. And I think that's why I think I really am behind part of the movement to remove the helmets. These guys are tough, serious looking dudes. And, that's how you get the game exciting again. You take the helmets off, you're going to vote for who's the scariest.
Lettuce fan there, Tommy. Tommy loves some good lettuce. Let the lettuce grow. I agree completely.
For those you don't know, hockey is filled with weird terminology, and lettuce is like lip lettuce. It means mustaches and stuff like that. Pizza means you're in trouble. The cops are coming, or something like that. Like there's all these weird little language that they alert themselves in case because they're always, the side hustle probably is a criminal activity. Anyway.
That's the thing. The helmet got put back in the game after guys started getting knocked out cold when they fell on the ice. Ask Ulf Samuelsson what happened when Ty Domi went to settle the score. You need the helmet, you need the shield, Tommy. The game's changed. It's not like it used to be. These aren't the Mike Milbury days where you can beat a man with his own shoe in the stands. This is civilized people with real families and lives, not trying to die on the ice, Tommy. But still, a lot of these guys have, talking about those mustaches. That's true. No helmet. You can see the beauty of the playoff beard. You don't want to cover up a nice beard. It's a shame. I get that. Ask Brent Burns, Joe Thornton. They could have made a lot more money from Rogaine and all these other nonsense drugs if you could have just saw the beards and the hair flow.
I'm with you. And they're going to protect the hair, so they're going to be a little bit more aggressive against the other guys. But you look at the NFL next season, they're going to be allowed to wear those silly, weirded pad things they wear in practices out in the field if they want to wear in games, real games. The NHL is going to be doing stuff like that. Next thing you know, they're going to be those big blow up, spheres that they move around like it's a big party thing. They're already moving to the Vegas Sphere to do the draft thing, so it's not too far off. But I just think that the days where it was like Vikings and Trolls playing the sport needs to come back, because or else they're going to be in freaking chairs playing this game. No one wants to see a guy in a big bubble chair. Just let them play the game. If they fall on the ice, look, there's another guy that's going to come up and take his place. And that's what the great thing about it. There's a lot of good players out there, and we're proving that point.
Oh, unless your third line sucked, that is. But I mean, all I'm saying, we gotta have helmets because I mean, if you don't have helmets, what's going to happen when the helmet gets knocked off and the gloves drop? You might as well, hey, let's let them not play with gloves. Let them to take the helmets off. We got to have the helmets. We got to have the gloves.
Hockey is physical,
this is a little bit of a dangerous sport. Most guys in the league now can shoot a puck 80 to 100 miles an hour. They skate on sharper skates than ever, because you got guys skating faster than they ever have. You've got high state of the art technology sticks that launch these pucks. You need a helmet. I mean, a puck to the head without a helmet is
it'd be fun to watch.
I mean, you don't want to see that, Tommy. I mean, I know you love to see things. I don't want to die miserably and bleed to death, but this I don't want to. No, come on, get out. I don't want to see a guy that dies on the ice, but I want to see guys that are playing because they feel like their life's on the line. They see that fear in their eyes and their anger, and see like this is brutal. Like the Native Americans down in Saskatchewan, wherever they were playing.
Well, they're called First People up in Saskatchewan, Tommy.
Yeah, but I was thinking about the other one that's down in Mesopotamia, whatever the place is, where they were playing a version of basketball with people's heads. So, like, I'm not looking for that. That's just that's grotesque. You can't take the kiddos to go see somebody use a human head
most
as
of
a
the
ball.
time. People want to say we've evolved from 1,000 years ago, but still, I mean, there are those out there who say we don't evolve. So yeah, bring it back. Why not?
It seems
I'm not, marketable. Head ball. It seems
Yeah.
like fun. Bouncing heads, shooting heads.
I'm not. No, you're putting words in my mouth there, pal. I'm promoting it. I'm saying we don't need to go to that far, but we can just say we're not going to nerf everything up. Next thing you know, they're not going to be on real ice. Somebody's going to come up with some like gelatin. They're going to be sliding around like a slip and slide. They're bringing a burger to your car or something like that. Like
you heard it here first, folks. Stop nerfing hockey. Tommy says bring back human sacrifice. And that's the end of the game. Thanks for clicking and tuning in the time in with me, Ricardo Lungus, with me, Anthony North, Tommy Crenshaw, TTFN.